Hey and welcome back to my corner, or welcome to my corner. Halo Combat Evolved, a game that came out, well, now, 21 years ago. Now, if you think about it, it could drink. The game originally released in 2001, and it got a remake in 2011 on the 360, and then that remake got a port on the Xbox One and now Series X in MCC in 2014. I want to get this out of the way before I jump into the story. The reason I didn't release this video on the 15th was because I had a shooting competition, and I won, so that's cool. Anyway, let's get into it. We start our story on the UNSC Pillar of Autumn, where we discover this weird ring in the middle of space. I mean, hey, if you know what it is, you know. Real quick, just notice the lack of anything around the Pillar of Autumn. That's going to be important for later. We cut to a shot of Captain Keyes scratching his neck. Then Captain Keyes finds out there's a Covenant fleet just waiting for him. Maybe that large fleet of Covenant ships was just camouflaged, I don't know. After making everyone on the ship panic as if they're all gonna die, which, spoiler alert, they are. Then Captain Keyes gives the order to Cortana to wake up the Master Chief. By the way, as a side note, Cortana will be important in every single Halo game that involves the Chief, plus Reach. Next, we see the best case for why everyone loves Sergeant Johnson.
Once again, it is our job to finish what the Flyboys started. We are leaving this ship platoon and engaging the Covenant on solid ground. When we meet the enemy, we will rip their skulls from their spines and toss them away, laughing.
Ah yes, now that's music to my ears. All of a sudden, something scary happens. We're in the first person. So after stopping being a lazy bum, we get the privilege and honor of doing these very annoying, boring, dumb, and stupid tests. I'm trying to think of more things to say about them. And then, when we finally get our shield up, I don't know, because it wasn't working before, I don't know. We leave the room to try to avoid the same fate, and after being scarred for life, we continue up to the bridge. After making it to the bridge, Keyes and Chief greet each other with a handshake. I mean, hey, I greeted Dr. Gupta the same way. And how did that go? I never even wanted this. We cut to how, for some reason, the Pillar of Autumn doesn't work anymore, and then Cortana gets taken by Master Chief to get off the ship. Keyes gives us a Magnum that isn't loaded. You lying Oh yeah, I forgot about this. MCC has a tendency of freezing up, especially with this recent update. I mean, it's been happening in Halo 2 Anniversary for a little bit now, but it's recent with Combat Evolved. 343, please fix this. After passing by that transport that docked into one of the escape pod bays, we discover another group of Marines and help them out. And repeat. Oh wow, we just came across another Covenant squad. They're so dangerous. Huh. Oh, look at that, some originality. You see, we have to go upstairs now. Oh, look at that, more original hallways. You see, this time, they're dark. After more very original hallways, we make our way into the very man-sized and walkable vents. Why? Finally, we make it to the room where we get our first boom boom balls and blow up a bunch of grunts and elites. And hey, we finally get on an escape pod. You'll be fine. By the way, Keyes crashes into the ring. And so do we. Uh-oh, looks like it's gonna be a violent landing.
Chief? Chief, can you hear me?
All of a sudden, we realize that we're potentially responsible for their deaths because we never took a seat, so we gotta go running. But before I tell you where we ran to, I have a brief rant. This spot's the best place to actually display what I mean, but it's everywhere in this game. You see, in Anniversary, when you could be shooting something and the bullet should be landing on the enemy, but it doesn't, and then you switch the original graphics and realize you're shooting a piece of geometry. Were the developers at 343 drunk or something? Who thought this was a good idea? So where we ran to was this nice party where a bunch of Marines invited a bunch of Covenant just to have a lot of fun. Oh, that's screaming? Yeah, that's just how much fun they're having. After fending off waves of Covenant, we finally get our... But I don't even have a driver's license yet. Who cares about California law? We're on a Halo ring, damn it. So our next task is to rescue 3 more groups of Marines. After going through a naturally formed tunnel.
This cave is not a natural formation.
Thanks for reminding me, Cortana. I truly never would have guessed. First, we rescue and evacuate the group of Marines by the rocks. We do the same thing on the hills and at the cliffside. And finally, we're evacuated too. Yay! Time to do whatever the hell we're doing next. And that next thing is Snipers 101, a guide to sniping. Time to enter into Sniper's Alley. And wait, wasn't there an achievement supposed to be here? And to that I say, yes there was. Because in the original 360 version, there was an achievement for taking out all 7 grunts, both jackals and an elite, out without being spotted. Not sure why it was removed from MCC, but okay. After that period of annoyance and indifference, we move through the canyon. Our ultimate goal being to get to the base of the gravity well where we can get into the ship called the Truth and Reconciliation. Why we're going in the Truth and Reconciliation is, I didn't mention it at the beginning of the mission, or at the end of the last mission either, but we have to rescue Captain Keyes because he's aboard. After dealing with the Covenant at the base of the gravity well, making it into the ship, dealing with the Covenant on the many different floors of the Truth and Reconciliation, we finally make it to the brig. Damn it, this is the wrong brig. After going through more Covenant, we finally make it to the right brig. Time to rescue a man that says we shouldn't have rescued him, but thanks us anyway. Finally, the last part of the mission, which is for us to escape the Truth and Reconciliation. Now, during this section, if Keyes dies, you have to restart from last checkpoint, which is pretty easy to keep him from dying unless you're on higher difficulties. Basically, just don't get him killed, even though he graduated at the bottom of his graduating class. Like a certain someone, After failing a skip glitch, which by the way I've done before, we finally get a spirit. And no, you don't get tracks, we escape in it. Again with me not mentioning things, Keyes mentioned a silent cartographer in a conversation in the brig, so that's what we're gonna be finding on this island. Oh my god, is this like Normandy? No, it's just a grand total of 608 years after the fact. After going to the map room, we get locked out, we go to the security room, we unlock the door to the map room, we go back down to the map room, we come back up to the surface, and then we get picked up. Next, we fly into the island. What the fuck? Time for an aerial assault underground, cause that makes sense. We get dropped off at wherever the hell we are, and we make it through a series of very generic and repetitive rooms and hallways. Well, it's not true to say there's only repetitive rooms and hallways, because you do get the occasional bridge.
The weather patterns here seem natural, not artificial. I wonder if the ring's environment systems are malfunctioning. Or if the designers wanted the installation to have inclement weather.
Hashtag foreshadowing. Fireteam Zulu makes a request for help, and we help them. Eventually. But first, kindness crap. And I'm totally doing this out of free will and not because someone threatened my grades. Now, could you leave the room? Okay, you're getting closer, so never mind. I mean, hey, if they can show my old elementary and high school, I can too! If you want to be like me, I mean, I have a life, so you're not being like me. But, if you want to be like a bunch of these other people that I actually know, if you want to do some good old bullying, just wear the kindness shirt. That way you're vindicated of all wrongdoing. If you want this beautiful shirt, which most people will confuse as a washcloth, I've got a special deal for you. Now, it's normally $5, but if you mention my name, you get an extra $30 tacked to it. But Nate, why would I be tacking an extra $30 to it? Well, answer, because you get a free copy of Roblox. Order now while supplies last. Can you leave the room now? I did the ad, can you leave the room? Okay, she's gone. Oh, whatever you do, don't forget about the elevator ride down. Is it relevant to the story? No, but it's something that's cool. Finally, we're outside, yay, time to steal a warthog. Wait, we get the only tank in the entire campaign? Hell yeah! Oh, look at that. Time for another naturally formed tunnel and a bridge. After we make it to, I think, Fireteam Zulu, we pick them up in the tank, give them a little ride, and then quickly abandon them. After some more repetitive hallways, rooms, 2 bridges, and an elevator, we make it to the section where we get banshees. Now, what is a banshee? You'd be correct if this wasn't Halo, but in Halo, banshees are, let me put it this way, Covenant planes. So we make it into the control room, which was the whole point of the mission.
Yes, the Forerunner built this place, what they called a fortress world, in order to... Wait. No, that can't be. Oh, those Covenant fools. They must have known. There must have been signs. The Covenant found something. Buried in this ring. Something horrible. And now, they're afraid.
Something buried? Where?
The captain. We've got to stop the captain.
Keys? What
The
are we...
weapons cache he's looking for. It's not really... We can't let him get inside.
I don't understand.
There's no time. Get out of here, find keys, stop him. Before it's too late!
We get dropped off by Echo 419 in some random jungle because, for some reason, Captain Keyes was here over 12 hours ago. We go on a walk, and what the hell just threw those bodies down? Are those trees releasing some sort of LSD, or am I missing something? As we fight through more Covenant, trying to ignore what the hell we just saw, thank God there are some allies fighting the enemy in the structure. Wait a second. Where the hell were all those bullets and explosions coming from? There's no one here. We do what any genius would do and go farther into this mysterious facility. You know, I'm having a lot of fun killing these grunts and jackals, but where the hell are the elites? Hashtag foreshadowing. Going farther into the facility, we finally find an ally.
Stay back!
I think you forgot how to be an ally, dude. Maybe it's the gas that might be from the trees from before. Who knows? So after we teach this guy how to be an ally, we go farther into the facility. We discover a room, a dead Marine, and a door to open. We open the door and a dead Marine falls on us. After that, we discover the remains of an entire squad. We pick up the helmet of a fellow named Jenkins and, pull out the memory card for a video camera? We see some really weird glitches as they go to the facility. They discovered some mangled elites. Just a quick question. What the hell mangled them? Then they opened the same door we did. Since Keyes was with this squad, whatever the hell got this squad got him too. Oh, and Sergeant Johnson was also there. Meaning, I guess this is the death of him. And then the gang discovers, what the fuck? Well, of course the memory card's corrupt, but... Oh god, we're in the same room. Great, now it's time to fight for our lives and escape the facility. Well, I guess that's what happened to the elites. We eventually find a shotgun and an elevator to get the hell out of here. Chief? I think you forgot which way was up. Oh, and great, now these things have weapons. Great, we finally figured out how to get out of here, and Echo 419 gets back to us. We finally make it to the top of the elevator, and oh god! Oh wait, never mind, those are actual people. Echo 419 then tells us to go to a structure in the middle of the jungle so that she can pick us up. So we go. But wait, we get kidnapped.
Greetings. I am the monitor of Installation 04. I am 343 Guilty Spark. Someone has released the flood. My function is to prevent it from leaving this installation, but I require your assistance. Come, this way.
So I guess these things are called the Flood, and if you're the monitor of this installation, isn't it your damn job to keep people from releasing the Flood? Yes, but let's just move to the library. Okay, that's a glitch. We're here to retrieve the index, which is that thing in the center of the room. But in order to do that, we have to go up 4 floors of this place. By the way, I just wanted to mention, on the 4th floor, right next to the door to get to the elevator to get you to the index, there's this weird texturing issue between Anniversary and the original graphics. Let me show you what I mean. You see that wall right there? Well, guess what? That's not actually a wall. That's a little area where you can find a health pack and a rocket launcher. Now, my problem is the original version wasn't improperly textured, but this one was, because this was obviously an area and textured correctly in the original version, but in the Anniversary, it's just textured as if it's a wall. Was this 343's first Halo project? I don't know, because Halo 4 began development in 2009, and I don't know when Combat Evolved Anniversary began development, even though it released in 2011, which was before Halo 4. By the way, I noticed while I was getting the footage for, the textures, this visual glitch was finally fixed by 343, and I'm very glad they fixed it because it's been a pet peeve since Season 8. After all that, we finally retrieved the index. Yay. Now, is the library fun? Only if you want Flood Firefight in Combat Evolved, which I do, so I think it's fun. But if you're not that kind of person, you won't enjoy this. Oh, would you look at that? We're back in the control room. Time to stick the index into whatever the hell that is. And Cortana decides to talk to us. She finally tells us what the ring does instead of leading us to believe that it's a weapon.
Why the Forerunners built it? Halo doesn't kill Flood. It kills their food. Humans, Covenant, whatever. We're all equally edible. The only way to stop the Flood is to starve them to death. And that's exactly what Halo is designed to do. Wipe the galaxy clean of all sentient life.
Well, that would have been nice to know before I got the index. Once 343 figures out that we aren't going to fire the ring, he turns on us, and we now have to fight against Sentinels. Yay. Our next duty is to shut down 3 power generators, which is pretty much the entire goal of the mission. The reason we have to shut down 3 power generators is because 343 could potentially fire the ring without the index, even though the index is the key to fire the ring, which doesn't make a lot of sense. If you didn't need the index to fire the ring, why would you go through the trouble of getting the index at all, making the library very pointless? That's enough story analysis for now. Our goal, like I said prior, is to destroy 3 power generators. The first one is right here. As you may notice, the obvious fact that this mission is basically just going backwards through Assault on the Control Room, making this mission easily the worst mission in the game. Oh yay, Flood Bridge. Neat. So to avoid boring you from any other detail from the mission, we finally make it to the ground where we get a ghost, so we get another Banshee so that we can shut down, oh look, our second generator. The Banshee Fairy drops by and gives us a brand new Banshee so we can leave it at this door. Of course the door had to blow up. So now we're on foot. I mean, there is a way to get a ghost in this section, but that does take a lot of time and it takes a lot of effort because at any moment either the Banshee or the ghost will simply despawn before you can push the ghost through the door with the Banshee. After we get the privilege and honor of fighting through this horror section, we finally get a ghost. From there we get a Banshee. And hey, I just decided to, just for why not, grab the Pinata skull. Oh jeez! What the fuck? Before we ask any questions about how drunk the development team was when they made that, we shut down the 3rd and final power generator. We get teleported somewhere random. Where? The Truth and Reconciliation. You remember that ship from the 3rd mission that we were rescuing Captain Keyes from? Yeah, that one. We're going back to the Truth and Reconciliation because Captain Keyes is aboard it and we are going to rescue him, even though I don't think Cortana got the message that Captain Keyes is already dead, but whatever. And the reason we're going to rescue him is because we have the goal of blowing up the ring. Oh my god, this ship's disgusting now.
Chief, don't be a fool. Leave me.
Are you kidding me? How did Keyes survive this? Chief then decides to jump out of the ship. Dude, are there some underlying mental health problems you got there? Oh, you fell into a vat of Green Dawn dish soap. Never mind. We make our way through the canyon in order to get back into the Truth and Reconciliation. Oh god, is that the purple screen of death? Oh wait, never mind. Again, to avoid the overly long and painful detail, we make to the bridge. Well, Keyes has become one of them, so what do? I mean, we need his Neuralink, so Let's just cave his skull in. That makes sense. Yay, we got the Neuralink and put the infected thing in our helmet, because that, again, makes sense. And let's escape. And the horse you rode in on. God, why do I feel like that's something someone would say in bed? Chief is objectively a bad pilot, and it's now time to walk around the same damn repetitive hallways. Instead of just having Covenant, they show up later, you now have Flood and Sentinels to worry about too. We eventually make it to the bridge, so where we can set the final countdown for 15 minutes until the ship blows up, and thus the ring with it. The problem is 343 stops the counter, so we have to restart it manually. And by that I mean blowing up 4 cores. Yay. But before we move on with the rest of the story, I have one final brief rant. Now you see those barrels right there? Those barrels are very important for a skip to avoid that hallway with a bunch of flood in it, and especially if you're on higher difficulties, you want to avoid that hallway. Now to avoid that hallway, you have to crouch jump onto these barrels, get onto those column pillar things, and then get up to the control panels. All of which requires crouch jumps. Now, crouch jumps in Combat Evolved Anniversary are extremely easy to pull off. It's a very good system. It's very liberal in allowing you to do a successful crouch jump. But MCC isn't. I swear. I thought it was straight up impossible to do it, at least with a controller in MCC. Until one day I was going through this just for fun, and I discovered this. And you have no idea how hard it is until you actually do it for yourself, because you literally have to click down on the stick to crouch and jump simultaneously. It's pretty much frame perfect. Once we take out all 4 cores, we then take a service elevator. And now we have to drive to where Echo 419 will pick us up. Yes, this is why this is the best mission in the game. After a little bit of driving, we made it to this area, and a bunch of YouTubers already have explained how this area doesn't make any sense, so I won't go into that. Also, I gotta ask, when did this shadow ever exist? I think this is another glitch. But anyway, we're getting picked up by Echo 419. Well, I guess we're dying here. What the hell? Why are the Banshees empty? As it turns out, there's one more longsword in the hangar, and we have 3.5 minutes to get to it. Go. After one giant leap for mankind, we finally make it to the longsword and escape the Pillar of Autumn. Crowds of Flood surround the ship, and it explodes. Wait a second, don't act like this is done. There is a legendary ending after all. And what is that legendary ending?
Come here, you mother... This is it, baby. Hold me.
Are you kidding me? How did Johnson survive this? And not even survive to the degree that Keyes was infected but still alive until we caved his skull in. I mean uninfected completely. But I mean, there's no way he survives this. Even Chief and Cortana talk about how no one survived the explosion. Chief and Cortana spend the rest of their time watching the destruction of the ring and just sitting there and relaxing, I guess. Like I said, Halo Combat Evolved came out in 2001. The sequel, Halo 2, coming out in 2004, 3 years later. But Halo 2 is a topic for another video. Thank you for watching. I hope you did like this video. If you did, go ahead and subscribe or follow. And I'll see you in the next one. See ya.